It is time for you to stop all of your crying. Hi, how are you? Welcome. We are about to start reading for the collective. Look, the sun is at the bottom of the Jack. That bodes well for the energy right now. And also the sun is beaming into my room to enhance this reading. But welcome. We're doing collective reading, personal readings for those that are interested, and I am reintroducing a new option that I had on my Pearls Prayers account. We are going to be talking about that tonight, so stick with me. It is about receiving one card readings from me every time I go live. It is something I used to do for Pearls Prayers, and it is just going to involve signing up as a member on my site and sending me your TikTok handle so I recognize you when you come through. Hi, Karen. I love that. What poetry are you reading, babe? I love to read and write poetry. I am shuffling the Wise Dog Tarot right now, and we are gonna, the Three of Wands. Everybody's waiting for these messages to come through. We're going to get a sense of divine masculine energy right out the gate tonight. So we're going to take a look and see what is up with the divine masculine, how he is thinking, how he is feeling about the connection tonight. So let's get a sense of that. What is he thinking? What is he feeling about the connection? And remember that when we look at divine masculine energy, while it may reflect back information about your person, it is primarily your own energy that we are exploring. And when you understand how that energy works in your life, you will be able to make a lot of shifts and changes in that energy so that you can start to manifest the outcomes you desire. It was a book called Flux by Orion Carlotto. I picked it up because the cover is the lovers. Oh, interesting. I love that. That's cool. I haven't heard of that book. Okay, 2 cards just came out. Divine Masculine, how are we thinking and feeling? Very interesting temperance energy here. And Justice. So, balancing the scales is a big thing. Balancing things. Pouring back and forth with the temperance energy. This is transmutation, alchemical energy, changing what felt bad into something that feels good. The Justice card is about things finally being fair. Temperance is also about being at peace. Sometimes people associate it with patience, although I really only associate it with that depending on the spread that I'm reading. But for me, temperance is much more than patience because it implies emotional regulation in general. So if somebody's impatient, they're not really good at regulating their emotions. If they're patient, they are. So for me, it's much more about calm and peace. So the masculine seems to be feeling at peace about the connection and feeling something about things being fair, or circumstances being fair. This can also be that he has recently received a judgment in regards to a contract, a marriage, divorce, something like that, that is finally allowing him to be at peace, or he's made peace with his decisions regarding marriage, divorce, etc. So let's get a little bit more. That's how he thinks and feels about the connection. Let's just use my Tell Me Everything spread. So we'll use the questions from that. So the next question would be, what is something that the masculine energy is currently hiding from us, himself, etc.? The High Priestess. Okay. So this is 3 major arcana cards. I really do feel like there's major things happening. These are significant life-changing cards. They're not just sort of like minor things. So he's got really major important things going on in his life right now. If he's at peace about something, what he's hiding has to do with inner knowing. This is the energy of a tarot reader, somebody who's gifted, of somebody who has insight, who can access like that sacred, secret information that's within self. So, and because this is the position of what he's hiding from himself, he may be hiding his intuition or his trust in his own intuition. He may not even really be in touch with that aspect of himself right now. If you're here asking questions about a relationship, this collective reading will probably help you, because it's going to give you insight into the masculine energy that you have within you and whether or not your person is reflecting back that energy, so that you'll gain more insight about your connection with that person. If you want a personal reading, the list is open, and you can send any amount, PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, to the link in my profile, and I will pull cards that match the level of your donation. And if you want a relationship spread about a specific person, that's going to be $33. Give me 1 second here, because I just realized that I did not mark off today's date, and I want to do that. I can't believe that it is the 6th. That is crazy to me. How the hell did that happen? Like, I just feel like we're living life at super speed or something. It just doesn't even make sense to me. So whoever would like a reading, just send any payment, any amount to that link in my profile, Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App, and I will pull cards based on a question for you. So yes, and if you're here asking a relationship question, I am doing the masculine energy right now, just to bring you up, because I see some more people in the room. How the masculine energy, this is the energy within you, and it may be reflected back to you from the person you're focused on. If the person you're focused on does not seem to be exhibiting any of these traits in the way that they're acting towards you, they're not a match for your energy. It's a really simple litmus test. If you have a reader who's telling you the masculine energy is interested in commitment, he's doing inner work, he is wanting to open up and express more about his feelings, and the person you're focused on is texting you like, hey, like at 2 a.m, like, hey, what's up? Like, that's probably not a match. Like, the person that is going to reflect this energy is much more developed and has a sense of emotional mastery. They may be not texting you at all or being completely silent because they're respecting your boundaries. If they know that they're not ready to bring you the kind of commitment that you desire, they would probably not be trying to hit you up for a booty call. Like, use your common sense about whether or not the messages that you hear coming from your higher self really apply to the other person. The same is going to be true for a person that's in another connection. If a person is in another connection and the reading is all about how there's going to be physical union between you, it's probably not going to be you and that person in another connection. There's so much work that they're going to have to do to extricate themselves from that relationship, to do the healing that's involved in that. You're probably at an earlier stage, but it may represent the energy where you will end up with somebody who has that matching energy to you, but it's probably not going to be right now. So just keep that in mind when you're listening to these collective energy. And the best thing to do is to get your own personal reading to know for sure. But the way that the masculine is thinking and feeling about the connection right now is that there is a sense of peace and a sense of things being fair, being balanced, and being at peace with maybe a judgment that has come through, a divorce, something has finally, like a legal matter has come to an end, and there's peace about whatever legal matter that is, a contract. It doesn't necessarily have to be a marriage, but something involving the court system. There's this peace about this now within him. Or it's just feeling like things are level. They're not up and down right now. There's not like a back and forth. It's just calm and, relatively matched between masculine and feminine energy. The thing that he's hiding, though, is that he has this intuition. He knows what is going to happen between you. Again, with the balance, all 3 of these cards have a balance of masculine and feminine energy. And so we're seeing that this really, like, the inner work has been done for both masculine and feminine here, where they really are matching each other. And he's hiding that he knows that things are going to work out, maybe from himself, maybe from you. Something he seeks forgiveness for is the back and forth energy that has happened in the past. Seeking forgiveness for how things were not fair, for not making decisions to prioritize the really important things in his life. So that's really in alignment. Every single card that has come out is about balance. And this one is about being sorry that things were imbalanced, but now they are balanced. That is really a very strong message coming through. Something he wants to say about the present moment. We have the Hermit energy and the Hanged Man. So he's currently on his own. He has taken himself away from others and is really just focusing on his own energy. He's gaining perspective on how he's behaved, on how the connection has played out. And that is requiring that he be separate from other people right now. Things are kind of paused. Things are like hanging there. Like he's kind of like taking a breath, I think. And if he's come to this intuition where he understands that everything that's happened was a match to his own energy, then there's some accountability that is taking place in this Hermit energy. He's experiencing enlightenment. Look how in both of these images we see this light radiating from the crown. And I know that this is supposed to be a cone, which I think is interesting. This also implies to me healing from something significant. The number of major arcana cards is astonishing. We have Temperance, Justice, the High Priest, the Hanged Man, and the Hermit. So tonight, something really, really significant is happening for this masculine energy. Some really significant awareness. Something he wants from the Divine Feminine, the Ten of Pentacles. So, hi Cheryl. So right now, what the masculine energy is truly wanting from the feminine is to be able to, now that they have that balance, be able to come together and have that abundance and prosperity, have the material life that they've both been dreaming of. Now, I know right now in your mind that you are really probably thinking about a person. And one of the things that causes major disappointment when people are watching tarot readings is that they are constantly thinking about someone else. And I gotta tell you, if you're watching tarot readings and thinking about someone else, it is unlikely that you are balanced within you. You can, it doesn't mean that you won't think of someone. I should try to make that make more sense, because obviously if you're thinking about another person, they're gonna occur to you. But if that's the dominant thought that you have, if your dominant thought is like, this means I'm finally gonna be together with my person, there's still some work that needs to be done, because ultimately what you should be coming to the conclusion of by now on your spiritual journey is that you get to have this material happiness whether or not the person that you're focused on is down to share this with you or not. If you can't believe that you can be happy and have this abundant, prosperous life and create a legacy and enjoy your family and really embody everything in this Ten of Pentacles card without your person, there's just still some healing that has to take place, because the journey is not about another person. It never is. And any of the readers that tell you it's about getting together with this other person and being a power couple and being on this mission, they literally have no idea what they're talking about, and I'm not saying that lightly. If you want more information about the Twin Flame journey, I highly recommend checking out my Twin Flames Explained series. I am, after having done years of research into this particular phenomenon, what I can say is that it does exist, that we will meet significant people in our lives and feel a deep connection and a deep bond and share really transformative experiences with that person. That I can 100% say for certain, because I've experienced it, and I know a lot of people have experienced it, and we share that. But all of the things that you see on TikTok and Google, they are not well researched. The people who are saying these things are using resources that are misinterpreting sacred truths that have been shared for millennia. And they don't go and they don't do the research about it, and they make these really like bold statements with their whole chest, and they are really inaccurate. And if you want to have an accurate idea of what's really going on, check out that series, do some reading. You're going to need to learn about Hinduism, Buddhism, even more ancient traditions. You're going to need to learn about philosophy. You're going to have to understand who the Neoplatonic philosophers were, what they were basing it on. Anybody out here who hasn't done any of that information and is talking to you about twin flames, don't take it seriously, because they're just regurgitating things they're reading online, and the things that they're reading online are not well researched at all. If that doesn't matter to you, if you're more of a person that, you know, just kind of goes with what feels right to you, and it doesn't really matter if there's like receipts for it, that's totally fine. Like, just go with what you feel. But if you want to know the truth, if you want to find the truth, you're going to have to dig a lot deeper than most people are willing to dig on this journey. Hi, Luna. But 100% I can tell you there's no, in all the research I've done, which is extensive, I have found zero evidence of this concept of one soul separating into two bodies. There's no evidence of that at all. Nothing. There is a misinterpretation of Plato's myth of Aristophanes, which was a myth, not meant to be taken literally. I can also tell you for certain that there is absolutely no information that I can see talking about people becoming power couples and going on a mission together. There's nothing about that either. So if you hear people saying that, just know that that's what they believe, but that's not coming from like an ancient tradition or something, because a lot of people try to make it seem like that's like it's been true for all these years. It's not. The people have been talking about this kind of thing since the 1970s. It doesn't go further back than that. There is spiritual information about really esoteric spiritual practices stemming from Hinduism that was taken out of context by Madame Blavatsky, who wrote a really important book in 1877. This is what Madame Blavatsky looks like right here. She wrote an important book in 1877 that transformed modern spirituality. It's called Isis Unveiled. It is a huge text. Be prepared to have to translate Greek, Aramaic, French. There's so many different languages in this text. And she's really responsible for bringing a lot of these concepts to the West that were not known at the time. The West was predominantly Christian, and there wasn't a lot of information about Eastern traditions. And Madame Blavatsky traveled the world, although some of her travels are not necessarily, like, there's no way to prove some of her travels. She made claims. We don't know if those claims are true or not. And she was not above glamour, so we don't know how much that she was saying was real, but we do know that she's the person who brought a lot of these ideas into Western spiritual tradition. Then those things were taken way out of context. They were by the ego. There is this idea that all of these spiritual things that we're telling you have something to do with, like, whether or not you're going to be able to afford to buy a Tesla next year and, like, live in a mansion and be a billionaire. That is the antithesis of spirituality. That is materialism. It has no place on a spiritual journey. It's not that you can't have wealth or enjoy wealth or prosperity or even create it with your mind, because you absolutely can. But if that's your goal, you are not on a spiritual journey. You are on a physical material journey, and that's different. It doesn't have anything to do with the masculine and feminine energy balancing so that you know how to create the life you desire in the physical. If you're still obsessed with that, it's just not, you're not getting it. And that's probably why things aren't working out for you. Things are really meshing when you try all these different practices, because your end goal is still ego driven, and it's not really driven by your heart. Your heart has much deeper longings than this. So that needs to be said. I definitely, whenever I have this conversation, I notice the room narrows down to a few people that are probably truly on their spiritual journey. I appreciate you. I salute you. I know it's very difficult. This doesn't mean you're never going to be with the person that you're focused on, although it might mean that you don't care in the end, because there are bigger things that are more fulfilling to you. I'm still on this journey too, so I haven't reached my end goal. I think part of my end goal is learning as much as I can, and really just expanding my gifts and my talents, following my passions. That I know has something to do with my end goal way more than just like, you know, marrying this person that I have fantasized about for 20 years. Like, it's not that. And you know it isn't. Like, your intuition knows it isn't. That's why we go back and forth. Yes, I love the comments here. Okay, but that being said, that just needs to be said at some point. The masculine energy within us and the masculine energy reflected back to us from our person, what they want from their emotional side or from the feminine energy that's expressed through you in their life, is to have material happiness, which is perfectly fine. You can be on a spiritual journey and want comfort and material happiness. That's totally fine. I am not somebody who believes you have to be completely austere and just sacrifice everything in order to be spiritual. I don't buy that, you know. While I don't subscribe to Christianity, there's many stories from Christianity that have been, like, if you think about it, like Jesus, when he creates the abundance with the loaves and the fishes, the idea that if you believe there's enough, there is enough. There's like a lot of these lessons that come out of Christianity that I was taught to take literally growing up, and now that I've done a lot of research, I know they're meant to be taken metaphorically, allegorically. Like, all the myths and legends that have been told are meant to be taken. So the masculine energy wants from the feminine to share a life, to experience prosperity, abundance, comfort, wealth, to create a legacy of some kind. Everybody, you know, approaches legacy in a different way as well. So not everybody's idea of the Ten of Pentacles is going to be the same, and that's what gives us all of the diversity here. All right, so let's take a look. What does divine masculine long for right now? What does the masculine energy long for? We have the Knight of Wands. So he wants to move swiftly and just let passion just cause him to be spontaneous. And he does really want to sweep the feminine off her feet and just be caught up in the passion, be in the moment. And that's really resonating because this present energy is very stuck. I dreamed about a sticky substance that I was having to like wash a sticky sweet substance off of these things. I don't remember exactly what I was cleaning, but in the dream it was hard to get this substance off. It was things that were edible, so like, and I remember the taste of it was sweet, but I was trying to get it out of my mouth. And so if you think about that, if you think about dream metaphors, sticky is feeling like, you know, you're in situations that are challenging, they're hard to get through, maybe actually being stuck in place. And then sweet has a lot to do with like affection and love. So there is this desire to move out of this stuck energy and to do it fast, because we've been here for a long time, as we all can attest, and it's not comfortable. So he really longs to be able to just come in and finally use that passion that he feels to make something happen. So I love this question. What are you speaking of? Who is sweeping someone off their feet if both sides are me? Awesome question. Really, thank you for that question, because this will help a lot of people understand. So the equivalent of someone coming in and sweeping you off your feet, being very passionate about you, just like surprising you in all these ways, the equivalent of that internally would be whatever your passion is, whatever your interest is. Like, my passion is music, my passion is teaching, it is writing. Like, I actually have quite a few passions, but the core of all of those things is my creativity, being creative. So if I'm saying that the masculine really wants to come in and just move out of this stuck energy and just take action and do something exciting and adventurous, what my masculine energy wants to do is to stop just sitting here and like healing the parts of me that have been afraid to go after my dreams, and being alone and trying to figure out how to get all these things to work, and not actually being able to pursue my dream, which my dream is to be able to do what I'm doing right now and also do music, but in a place where I feel this kind of material comfort. And I feel kind of stuck, like I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get this going, or, you know, make this creative part of my life be the source of my material wealth and abundance, my security. I'm not quite sure yet, and that's why I've been sort of stuck and just kind of like living at my parents and trying to figure out, okay, how do I take my passions and run with them? How do I do that and also maintain consistency? Because there's times when I get caught up in my creativity and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna make a music video, it's gonna be awesome, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but then it's really difficult to sustain that passion every single day. And I just, like, there's part of me that just wants to like jump out of myself and just like fucking make it happen. Like, I want my mind to be able to take all of that creativity and just show everybody what I can do and like live this really adventurous life. So that's how you take these messages and you apply them to yourself. You act as if the feminine that's being talked about is whatever your heart feels, your creativity is, your emotions are, and the masculine that's being talked about is your mind. So the intellect, the part of you that takes the action. So your mind wants to just figure it out as fast as possible, get this going, and finally get to this material abundance that you want to share with the feminine energy. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that clarifies that. Again, thanks for that question. Really great question. So what does the masculine energy long to say or to tell the feminine energy? So again, how do we apply this to ourselves? This would be like, what does your mind really want to say right now to your heart? What does your mind want to say to your heart? We have the 10 of Swords here. This is like being stuck like this and not being able to live the life that we want to live hurts. It's painful. I don't want to be stuck like this. I want this to end. I want to go from, you know, dreaming about things to actually making things happen in the real world, because it's super painful to know what I'm capable of, to know where I could possibly go, to know, you know, what this promise is, and to not be able to actually make it happen just because of the way I think about things. I have a mindset that keeps me stuck. I have negative thoughts that have such a powerful hold over me that it's difficult for me to move out of that energy. And I really want to be able to do that. So can you see how your person might say those things to you? They might say, you know, being apart from you really hurts. I don't want to be in the situation where we're stuck anymore. I want to end the separation. I want to stop dreaming about it, and I want to actually do something in reality. And I don't want to feel this painful stuck energy between you anymore. It works that way. It works both ways, through what your person would say and what your mind would say to your heart right now. This can also be your mind saying, I don't want to be stuck on this same person anymore. I don't want to be fantasizing about this one person anymore. I want to be able to open myself up to all of the possibilities. And if I'm constantly thinking about this one person, that's not happening. And I want to be free of that. I want that to end. So what does the divine masculine need right now? That popped right out. We have the Queen of Swords. This is an energy of needing the feminine to not be overly harsh or critical or judgmental, to have discernment and be understanding. So this is like not being hard on yourself, because it's difficult to just suddenly get up, when you have all of these different thoughts that you have to shift or change. Being understanding, having a strategy, taking those thoughts one at a time and cutting away the ones that are preventing you from moving. In a connection, it's about wanting the feminine that the masculine is focused on to not be harsh or judgmental about how he has felt stuck and uncertain about what to do. And remember, the thing he was sorry about is that he hasn't prioritized the feminine. He hasn't always chosen to make her a focus. Things have not always been balanced between them, and there's a wanting forgiveness for that, and not wanting the feminine to be angry with him for having made those choices, just understanding that it was part of his journey and him learning how to be the best version of himself. So he would really needs the feminine to be understanding. He also himself needs to have healthy boundaries. He needs to have a strategy or a plan. You might long to sweep somebody off their feet and just bring them all this wealth and abundance, but you can't do that in a vacuum. You have to actually make a plan and strategize, and that's what the Queen of Swords is good at. So this is a plan or strategy to get out of this energy, this stuck energy. He needs that. He's got to also communicate, because the Queen of Swords is a great communicator, so he needs to be able to communicate. I'm seeing these roses here. This is to express his feelings. Again, if you're applying this to yourself, you need to be able to express your feelings in a way that allows you to state how you feel and create boundaries around those feelings, and make sure that you are explicit with those boundaries for other people so that they have an understanding of you. Something that the masculine would give to the feminine, seeks to give to the feminine, the world. So this masculine energy, this is the completion of cycles. This is the infinity symbol. We've got this back and forth energy, and the masculine really does seek to end this eternal cycle that has happened between them, the back and forth. We saw from the beginning that he is really mastering balance right now, and this is a major and significant change for the masculine energy. To balance out. Balancing masculine energy means what your heart desires is as important as what your mind is telling you. And instead of just your mind being in charge of everything and trying to control everything, it's like letting your feelings have as much value and importance to you as your thoughts do. In fact, your feelings are telling you what thoughts you're having. If you feel bad, you're probably having thoughts that are keeping you stuck, right? So your feelings are not meant to be ignored or pushed to the side. Your feelings are meant to be honored and respected so that you can change the way you're thinking so that you can feel better. It sounds easy, and really it is easy. It is simple, but we make it very complicated because we're battling years of programming that we've all endured. And when you spiritually awaken, you are literally thinking differently and feeling differently than most of the people in the world. So it does feel very challenging. But once you learn it, what is more challenging is realizing how simple it is and believing in it. Because you're like, wait a minute, if that's all I have to do, it seems like there should be more. And so we kind of create problems because we feel like we don't really believe in our own power. It takes us a while to really embrace that. But what he would give Divine Feminine is closure, peace, again, with this laurel wreath energy we have, peace. And, I want to give you the world. I want to give you all of the things that you want or need. And this is doing the same thing for yourself in terms of whatever passion that you have, whatever ideas or dreams or fantasies you have. Your mind is like, I want to give you those things, Pearl. Pearl, I know that you want to do these, make this beautiful music video and put out your EP and start to perform shows and find a manager because you're overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that you're doing right now. And I want to give you all of that. And I'm going to find a way. That's what that longing is. Like, I'm going to find a way. I don't care if I have to be spontaneous, if I have to be passionate, if I have to be aggressive. Like, I'm going to do it. I'm determined. I'm bound and determined. I'm on fire to give myself what it is that I've always been dreaming of. What is the divine masculine energy hope for the connection? The Eight of Swords. So this energy of longing to talk to the feminine about how he really wants things to stop being stuck and how painful it's been. Part of the reason that this conversation hasn't taken place is because of that prison of the mind that causes that pain. And the hope is that he finally realizes that he is not stuck, that he can move out of this prison. The prison is an illusion. You are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings either. You are just experiencing those things, but you don't have to identify as them. And that is a liberating knowledge to have. We see this crow standing on top of the crown chakra of this dog, and it's significant. Crows are usually associated with like that spirituality, but they can be associated with thoughts as well. And I'm seeing like a dark thought that's sort of blocking that crown chakra of the person, and knowing that when this dog moves, this crow is going to fly away. The second that you get up, you're free. And you're free to go in any direction. You just have to start to make a move. I remember years ago when I was living in Massachusetts, my marriage had ended, and I was trying to figure out my next steps, and I was really on the fence. I was going back and forth. I was just absolutely miserable. I didn't know what to do. And I had a good friend tell me, in my experience, motion creates motion. And for whatever reason, that was the key that I needed to just get up. And as soon as I got up, all these incredible things happened to me. And now 10 years later, I lived in Los Angeles. I worked with all these people I admire. I created a really awesome music career. I learned all the skills I had been learning. I started applying them, you know, and I'm here today and doing this work today, which is so fulfilling to me. And I get to do this all the time. I don't have another job outside of tarot and music. And while I might have financial challenges now and again, it's never enough to get me to go back to where I was. Just the motion, like getting up and realizing that if I just go forward, things fall into place. So the masculine energy is really hoping that he will finally learn this lesson, that both masculine and feminine will learn this lesson and just make a move to leave that false prison that they're both in. Something that he promises to do about the connection, this is the Star. So he promises to really hold on to his hope and believe in his dreams and acknowledge that the feminine, who has one foot in the ethereal fantasy imagination, has the other foot firmly planted in the material. And it's that it's the way that that feminine balances that allows the masculine, the mind, to be able to create whatever fantasy she has in reality. She helps bridge that gap from ideas to the material through his action. So that's why all the time in the twin flame energy, you know, it's like, oh, the feminine has to do the healing and blah, blah, blah. And my real problem with that is that we still consider feminine gender, and it's not. And there will be readers that'll be like, you know, this isn't about gender. You can be a feminine in a relationship with another feminine, but they're still wrong. Because what they're telling you is that your feminine energy is who you are. And your feminine energy is only half of who you are. And it's believing it is all of who you are that is keeping you separate from that eternal union. When you start to awaken, I read about it today in the Twin Flames Explained video that I posted about the Kundalini energy at the base of the spine. When that energy finally starts to move up the spine through the chakras, that is when you start to awaken to the fact that you are both energies, that you are not just one thing. The pushback against transgender and non-binary and everything that we're experiencing right now is the resistance to that awareness that we have both those energies inside of us, and we're responsible for learning how to balance them. This means you can't be all in your head and completely ignore your heart. That is how you can make really cold-hearted decisions, and that is how you become a billionaire and completely deny your feelings about all the suffering that's around you, right? If you're so disconnected from your feminine energy and you're so much in your masculine energy, you're dysfunctional. And the same thing is true is if you're so much in your emotions that you can't actually do things and take action, and you're disconnected from your masculine energy, which is honestly less common in our society, then you're also at a place where you're dysfunctional, right? When people become emotionally reactive to the point where they become incredibly depressed and they can't move, they can't do anything, that's too much in your emotions. There has to be balance, which we do know that we're really achieving right now with these first cards that came through in this reading. So the masculine energy is promising that he will hold on to the hope and turn it into the belief that he needs to be able to create the manifestation he desires here in the physical. What is the masculine energy thankful for in this connection? Wow. We have the Sun and the Knight of Pentacles, and I just heard the slow burn. So while this may be the antithesis of how you feel right now, because you might feel that you very much wish things would speed up, there is actually gratitude on the masculine's part for the fact that there has been this slow burn, because what's making him feel really happy is that he feels that despite all of the challenges, he's been able to be slowly and surely building up to this really solid and reliable source of happiness in his life, because it's not coming from something that can be taken away. If your only happiness is being in a connection with somebody, I have bad news for you. 100% of the human beings on this planet don't live forever. They go away. They pass away. They eventually are unalived by time, disease, accidents, or whatever. So if 100% of your happiness resides in the hands of a physical human being, it will be taken away. And if it's not taken away from them, from you before you go, you'll be taken away. And so at some point in time, that thing that made you happy has the potential to crush you and devastate you. So it is not permanent. It is temporary. If you want permanent happiness, that means that you have to fully embrace the energy of temperance, because permanent happiness is knowing deeply with the High Priestess energy that you are always present and connected to the divine forever. That is the only thing that is forever. And that knowledge is what makes you feel satisfaction and happiness in the physical, because no matter what happens here, you are always connected to that higher self, to source, to God, goddess, whatever you want to call that energy. That is enlightenment. So the masculine energy is thankful for this long journey, this slow and steady, slow burn to this understanding and enlightenment that has allowed him to understand the nature of true happiness, and not just fickle, self-indulgent, temporary happiness that we experience here briefly during our current incarnation. So I wasn't planning to do a Tell Me Everything spread, but that spread that I just did is called the Tell Me Everything. If you're interested in getting a personal version of this done for you, now remember, when it's for you, it's more specific. It's not quite so broad and vague. because it's your own personal reading. But you can click the link in my profile and scroll down to the personal video recorded readings, and you'll see that Tell Me Everything spread is available there. The bottom of the deck is the Lovers. I have seen this card so many times today. There's also 11 people in the room right now. Thank you, Luna, for your recommendation. For those of you that didn't get a chance to see it, if you're interested in looking at some of the feedback from some people who have worked with me, I posted some quotes. It's pinned. It's the first video pinned in my profile. And those are quotes from some of the people who responded to my testimonials. I requested, when I send you a reading, I usually send you a little form to fill out, just so I know, like, how am I doing. And I finally, after a long time of putting it off, I actually did pull together some of the quotes so that you can get a sense of what it's like to work with me. And Luna is definitely somebody who has gotten a lot of readings from me and is always proclaiming that she appreciates my skills and gifts. So I thank you, Luna, for that. And but yeah, if you want to work personally with me, you can just get a sense of how some of my clients have responded. And I'm going to keep doing that now that I have the testimonials going. As they come through, I will keep posting those so people can see them. And I will post, if I get a negative one, I'll post that too. I just haven't gotten a negative one yet. I would stand on top of a building with a megaphone. I love you, girl. All right, let's take a look now. We just looked at the masculine energy. It's only fair to look at the energy of our emotions, our creativity, our feelings, and call it the feminine energy here. So how is the feminine feeling about the connection? The masculine is really being at peace. He wants to make this happen. He's gained a lot of perspective. He has hope. He's filled with hope. I love that. Let's see how the feminine feels. How does the feminine think and feel about the connection with masculine energy right now? We've got the Ace of Swords, and I heard, I just want to know the truth. So we have an energy of needing clarity. Like, maybe that's how the masculine energy feels according to the cards. But I don't see that in my reality. So while that is what my brain is saying, my heart is like, yeah, but where's the proof though? And that was coming through yesterday. Get into the groove. You've got to prove your love to me. That was coming through yesterday in my reading. So Divine Feminine is really seeking clarity and truth about the connection in general. I do also think that she is thinking about the future, because Ace of Swords is also about seeing the future. So she's imagining the future. We see, this is an interesting image. We see this cat's paw. This is my cat tarot because I'm countering the dog tarot with the cat tarot. And we see this parrot here, and there's this feather. And so it looks like this cat has tried to get the parrot, and maybe the parrot has flown away. And so that's giving me the sense of like, you're talking, right? Like a parrot is talking. You're saying things, right? And but when I'm trying to like actually get you, like capture you, you're just flying away. So I need more clarity about that. Like, do you want to play with me or not? You know, assuming the cat's not wanting to eat the parrot, of course. Are you afraid of me? You know, maybe the feminine is like wanting to know, are you afraid of me? Are you afraid that I'm going to hurt you in some way? Like, can you give me some more clarity about that? Something feminine is hiding from the masculine is this Three of Swords energy. It's in reverse. And so maybe she's just not really being that open with her person or herself, that she really has healed from a lot of the wounds that she experienced in this connection. She might not be as aware, it's 7:55 on the clock when I'm saying this, she might not be as aware that she's kind of moved past a lot of these things. And it's something that was so much a part of how she identified or sort of defined her experiences, that it might just not be as clear to her or as a parent to her, that she really has moved past the wounds that she received, that the masculine triggered. So in a connection where you have a person that's reflective of your energy, they're not going to be wounding you. So this is not going to be somebody who's physically abusive, mentally abusive, anything like that. And if that's the case, then that person is probably more of a lesson for you to learn how to love yourself and create healthy boundaries in your life. And it's about forgiveness, but forgiveness usually means also that you are honoring and respecting yourself. You're not just forgiving somebody and letting them abuse you. So if you're in a situation where a person has been abusive to you, this is not that. The person who is really meant to be with you is reflecting an energy back to you. They're showing you where your wounds are. So they might do things that trigger you, but those wounds are coming from your past, from the ages of 0 to 7, and from other past relationships that you've had. The person may do something that makes you feel guarded, that makes you want to run away, etc. But they aren't actually wounding you. They're never going to do anything that is actually hurting you. If that's happening, that's a clear indication that they are not your person. Your person would never do that. That your person is going to treat you with love, and they may do things unconsciously, that they didn't intend to do, and that may trigger something in you, a trust issue, an abandonment issue, a rejection wound. But the feminine is really maybe not as aware that she's really moved past a lot of this wounding, and her person is really no longer able to trigger her the way that they used to, and she hasn't quite accepted that yet. Something that she wants she seeks forgiveness for. She was going to try to skip over that. World never likes to take accountability. Something she seeks forgiveness for is this 2 of Pentacles energy. And look again, this is what the masculine sought forgiveness for. So I love that. There's so much on the same page right now with that energy. The masculine also sought forgiveness for the 2 of Pentacles, which is the back and forth energy in the connection. And what I really love about this image is we saw her right out the gate. We have this energy of playing with something, and the fear that she was scaring that masculine energy away or something, and she's asking for forgiveness of how she may have perpetuated negative cycles between them, by being aggressive, playing with her food, there's all kinds of messages coming through there, but that's really significant to me that they both are sorry about the back and forth between them, about triggering each other or being triggered by one another and going into that runner chaser energy, like Tom and Jerry here with the cat and the mouse. So she's sorry about that. She doesn't want to do that anymore. And this is also being sorry about going back and forth in your mind over something and just not making a decision about it. And not prioritizing or choosing yourself. Not being responsible for your needs and kind of, always prioritizing other people's needs over yours. That's how it can be your own energy. And yes, we do trigger both sides of ourselves. We will think about all the times where you'll have a thought, I one of the best examples I have about how do I trigger myself, it will be about my body weight, having a feeling that I want to honor in my heart about taking care of myself and prioritizing my wellness, and then my brain immediately starting to panic about all of the times that we have done that in this really problematic, regimental, self-loathing energy. And so when I will want to make a gentle change in my life, I'll want to do like I've been trying to do the intermittent fasting where you eat during a certain window of period or time period to try to kickstart my metabolism and improve. I have edema, like where I have swelling, and so I want to reduce inflammation and see if I can help with the way that I've been feeling lately. And that will come from a really heartfelt place that's like, I want to feel better. But my mind is remembering times when I loathed myself. I didn't love myself. And so my mind is like, I'm not sure if I can trust this feeling that I want to make changes in my lifestyle is truly coming from a desire to love myself, or it may be coming from this place where I actually don't feel good about myself and I just want to change so that I can feel good about myself, which is ultimately a rejection of what I look like and who I am, and a judgment about the choices and decisions I make. So that's kind of how you can look at it in terms of how does one person trigger themselves just like that. And we'll see those same patterns in our relationships with other people. What is something that I want to say about this present moment? So what does the divine feminine energy want to say about the present moment? So the divine masculine wanted this for the feminine. The divine masculine wanted to share this 10 of Pentacles with the feminine energy. And the feminine energy is like, yeah, I want that right now. It's also about having appreciation and gratitude for the things you do have right now in this moment. So the feminine is acknowledging all of the material happiness that she does have. She's saying, like, I can see it. I can see how, maybe I haven't quite figured out how to get through my money blocks or how to let the universe take care of me and just bring me that abundance that I know is there. Maybe I haven't been able to do that, but I can see how I've made all these changes that's allowing that to happen, and I can appreciate all the ways I do allow myself to be taken care of, and all of the wealth I do experience, and the abundance I experience, even if it's not necessarily like money abundance or abundance of affection. There's other ways I can see and acknowledge abundance right now, and that's a really beautiful mindset. So what the masculine desires, the feminine actually has. And that is exactly what I was talking about, where I was saying that you don't want to give your happiness to somebody. The masculine isn't bringing the 10 of Pentacles to the divine feminine. She already has it. She already understands it. She already feels it. It's already in her current energy. That's the only way that you can actually have that with someone else, is if you already know where to find it. Something that she wants from the masculine is she wants him to return. So this is returning to whatever your calling is, leaving behind childish energy. We're actually seeing a small child here on the porch who has a new puppy, and this new puppy has distracted this child from his cat that he already had. And so because of that, the cat has had to leave or wants to leave, because there's this feeling that the masculine energy isn't paying attention, isn't nurturing, isn't loving and caring for her, because he has something else that's distracting him, or some new energy that he has around him. And what the feminine really wants is for the masculine to return to the same level of care and attention and time and energy that was first there in the connection. Or if it's a connection with somebody, if this is about yourself, then there's something that is distracting you, probably the masculine energy. That's the wise dog there. We just use the masculine to represent the dog tarot, to represent the masculine. So you are distracted by a masculine energy, a person that embodies that. You're focused on it, and you just kind of let your passions and interests, your emotions, your feelings abandon you, because you don't have time for it. You're so focused on what is he doing, what is he thinking, who's in his life, what are they doing, blah blah blah, that you don't really acknowledge your own energy, like your own feelings, your own creativity. And so you want to return to that point where your own passions and feelings and emotions were just as important to you as someone else's. This reading is for you if you're here. This is for the masculine and feminine energy within you, and you'll probably get a lot of insight into your own situation if you listen to the messages coming through this collective reading. It's probably why you were called here. Welcome. And if you are seeking a personal reading, I just require a donation for any readings, but it is pay what you want, so you can send any amount. And if you want a relationship spread, that's $33, and the link for that is in my profile. You can send PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. So what does the Divine Feminine long for? We have the Ace of Cups here in reverse and the Hanged Kitty. Now, we also saw the Hanged Man in the masculine reading, and it was coming out for the masculine in what is his current energy. So what he wanted to say about the present moment is that he was just kind of on his own in this hermit energy. He had paused. He was sort of isolating himself from others. He had taken himself away from everybody to take a moment and get his bearings and get some perspective. And we saw this cone here, which for me represented this time of healing. And so what the feminine really desires is that while the masculine energy has kind of left her hanging and waiting in this Hanged Man energy, is that he's finally learning how to fill his own cup, because the feminine spent a lot of time draining her cup, doing all of the emotional legwork for the masculine energy, and she wants to know that he has the capacity to be able to fill his own cup. So if we look at this as not just a relationship but our own personal energy, the idea behind this position is what you really long for is to be able to find ways of filling your own cup while you have to wait to gain the perspective you need to move into this next phase, this new phase of your life. That if you're going to be waiting around, you're finding ways that your creativity, your passions, your interests, your feelings and emotions are honored, and that love that you feel for self is represented by the creations that you are doing. If you send a donation, I will answer a yes or no question. I'm not doing, this is the only free reading that I'm doing, which is this very in-depth collective reading that I've been doing. You can also check out my Tuned In Tarot for more free collective readings. But if you want an actual reading, I do ask that you send a donation, PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, any amount, and I will answer questions for you. The next position is, what does Divine Feminine long to tell the masculine? So what does she long to tell the masculine energy? A lot just came out. Okay. We got the Emperor, the Six of Pentacles in reverse, and the Knight of Swords. Well, Divine Masculine, I long to tell you that if I'm going to be honest with you, you have not given me enough. Hey, Abby, I just saw your donation come through. So you will be first on the list. And I will get to you right after we finish this collective reading. Thank you so much, Abby. I appreciate you. So Abby is going to do a relationship spread after this. And so yeah, she's saying like, hey, masculine energy, Emperor energy, what I would like you to know is that I know you have it all, okay? I know that you're the Emperor. I know you have all the abundance you need. I know you have stability. I know you're worthy of receiving from me, but you have taken a lot from me, if you want me to be honest. And I do want to be very honest, even brutally honest with you, even if it hurts with this Knight of Swords energy. Sometimes the truth hurts, but you didn't give me shit. Okay, you kept it all to yourself. You selfishly guarded it. You didn't share this energy with me. And I don't know why, if you didn't think you were worthy or you didn't feel that you had enough to give, whatever it is, it hurt. It definitely hurt me. And I want to be honest with you and tell you, I know that you have a lot more to give than you're actually giving. And that hurts. And I want you to know that. What would Divine Feminine need right now? What does she need right now? This is the Seven of Wands energy. The Seven of Wands is an energy of standing your ground, healthy boundaries, fighting for what you believe in. And it can also be about fighting off ideas that are really just illusions, because in the traditional Seven of Wands, the Six of Wands, which remember is success or failure, is in front of the person holding on to this Ace of Wands. And the message we're getting that is that sometimes we are grasping or holding on to something so much that we're literally blocking our success, because we desire something we can't even see the success in front of us. We can't see what we've accomplished. So the feminine energy really needs to learn that lesson and acknowledge that sometimes if you're holding too tightly to your desire, you miss opportunities to be successful right now in this present moment and to be at peace. You always feel like you're fighting. You never feel like you're at peace, but the peace is right there in front of you. What will she seek to give the masculine energy? The King of Pentacles in reverse. Very interesting. Divine Feminine's got a lot of reversals in this reading. I don't think I had reversals in the other deck, but I don't need reversals to feel the energy of shadow or light in the cards usually, but reversals, when I get a lot of them for me, indicates that things are really in the process of turning around for the feminine energy. Luna, it's okay. Like, I feel your Aries energy right now, like coming right through all the way from the fucking West Coast right now, but it's okay. I feel you though, Luna. I feel you. Like, I feel like you just got so many shades of red just then, and it's totally fine. It's almost comical at this point. So the King of Pentacles in reverse for me is, I want you to turn around this energy in your life, and I seek to give you this confidence that I know your worthiness, even if you don't feel it. I know your worthiness because I know that your worthiness is a reflection of mine. And I really seek to give you the freedom to give zero fucks about what other people think. Because the King of Pentacles, when the King of Pentacles is in shadow, is really concerned about his reputation. He's really concerned about everybody looking at him, thinking about him, and he also might be concerned about people taking from him. And she wants to reassure the masculine energy, look, you may have wealth and prosperity and abundance. I don't want to take that from you. I want to share mine with you. So I don't want you to feel like I'm just coming in to like take from you or anything like that. That's not my intention. And if I could, you know, if I could calm that fear that you have, then that's what I would really like to do. I know, Luna. I can feel it. Okay. All right. So something Divine Feminine hopes for this connection. What does Divine Feminine hope for this connection? We have the Tower. So Divine Feminine really wants things to drastically change. She wants things to move, shift, alter completely. She wants to let go of everything that is just not helpful in this connection. She just wants her whole world to transform. She's sick of being where she is, and she really wants things to just move. She also wants to be surprised, like by a miracle, something so dramatic to just finally change the energy that's here. Something that feminine is promising to do about the connection. What does the feminine energy promise to do about the connection with the masculine energy? The Four of Swords. Listen, I'm not talking anymore. I'm going to stay silent, and I'm going to have faith that you are going to do what I have been hoping and praying that you will do, and that is to communicate with me. I know you're capable, but I'm not going after you anymore. It is on you to come through and speak to me. You will not hear from me. I will remain silent at this point in time. and I will just keep the faith that you are going to do what I know you're going to do. I'm not going to nag you. I'm not going to bug you. I'm not going to try to get you to do anything. I'm just going to remain silent in this Four of Swords, focus on my healing, and allow you to come in. I'm the passive energy right now, and I want you to take action. Something that I am thankful for in this connection with the masculine, the Six of Swords. I am thankful that I have learned from the rough lessons, the tumultuous waters. I have moved to a more peaceful place, that I have moved on from feeling trapped. I never will feel trapped again. I know that I'm absolutely free to come and go as I please. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful to finally be moving to a new phase in my life, and recognizing that I do have the freedom to do that. All right, I love that energy for today's reading. I will probably put this on YouTube if you didn't see the whole thing, because it was a pretty powerful reading. I didn't post anything this week yet, and I didn't have music playing, so I will be able to post it on YouTube. So I will do that tonight. You can catch the entire thing tomorrow if you missed any of the masculine part. And I'm about to do a personal reading now for Abby, who sent a payment for a relationship spread, and I'm going to do for her. If you are interested in your own reading, please click that link in my profile, Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App, any amount, and I will read for you. If you want this specific spread that I'm about to do for Abby, it costs $30, and you can send $30, but you can send any amount and ask any questions except for pregnancy, medical, and legal. Those I just ask that you book a private reading, because those are very private things, and it may trigger people that are here, and I don't want to do that. So if that is something you want to ask about, just check out the private options I have at the link in my profile. If you learned a lot today, and there's some really new information that you have just learned for the first time about masculine and feminine energy inside of self, and that's starting to click, and you're starting to be like, whoa, I didn't realize that, and you want to know more about that, there are two really good ways of doing that. Number one, Tuned In Tarot YouTube, hundreds of hours on this topic, tarot readings, some 2 hours long, really long, full-length, in-depth readings under the video tab and also under the live tab. If you click the live tab on my channel, you will see there's hundreds of readings there too, so go take advantage of that. You can also work privately with me. Do not be intimidated by the hour-long session price. If that price is beyond you, please know that you can always contact me. There's an Ask Me Anything option, and you can tell me what your budget would be for an hour-long session, and I will absolutely consider it. And another option that you have is if you purchase a package of 4 sessions, which I think is such a good idea, because I can help you so much more over the course of a month or bi-monthly than I can just from one single session. You will also receive an hour-long session, or you will receive all 4 hour-long sessions for half off that price that you see there on my page today. So again, don't be intimidated. Send me what is in your budget if you would like to book an hour-long session with me, and we can work that out. Anything under like $40-$50, that is available for video recorded reading, and those options are there already. So if your budget kind of tops out around $50, there are video recorded options that are available there. All right, so Abby, let's take a look at your relationship and see what state it's in. This is what you're learning from your person. And just make sure you're still here with me too, Abby. One of the reasons I don't do free readings, outside of the fact that I can't support myself if I do that, is that if you don't invest in your reading in some way, I feel like you don't take the messages as seriously as you do when you actually invest in yourself and in me as a reader, just so you know. But I support myself with tarot and with music. So if I don't receive any readings on a live reading like this, I don't pay my card payment. I don't pay for food. I have been trying to raise money for an apartment for a year and still not there. So I definitely don't have the ability to just give away all of my time for free, because I do actually donate quite a few hours a day to the collective so that more people can be helped than just one person at a time. And that's my reason for not doing a lot of free readings. There are readers out there who do free readings, and you can take advantage of those options. And then of course, make sure you check out Tuned In Tarot as well. Yes, I think that, you know, it's like a gym membership. When you pay for something, you take it more seriously, you listen more to the messages, it's more significant, and it also shows that you value yourself too, and me. It's not just like, you know, about just enriching me. It's showing that you value yourself to pay for a reading that you think is going to have a significant effect and give you insight, versus you're just curious or, you know, vaguely interested in what the reader might say. If that's what you want, you can scroll through TikTok. There's like thousands of readings that you can just, if you're just curious or you're just trying to get a, you know, if you're like yes or no, you can flip a coin, you can do so many other things. Investing in a reading is really more about, you know, showing how much you value the messages that you're getting. So is Abby still here? Let me see. I read for Abby often, so yeah, I think. Oh no, wait, I'm not seeing you. Oh, there you are. Okay, yay. All right, let me do your reading for you, babes. So, what will you learn from your person? We got the Two of Cups. This is from the Field Tarot. And the Five of Swords in reverse. So this is not giving up on love, relationships, and connections. So this journey with your person is teaching you how not to give up the fight, to have a matching energy, to have a cup that's just as filled as your own, to share that, to have that physical connection in the physical. As hard as it is, as much mental conflict as you might have experienced, as many times as you've wanted to give up, you have not given up. And this is about not giving up on yourself either, and the love that you have for yourself, and giving yourself what you desire and what you need. So that is what you're learning. That's a beautiful lesson to learn. So let's get an accurate portrayal of their personality. So we'll take a look. What is an accurate portrayal of their personality? Interesting. We have the High Priestess energy, which of course came out for the Divine Masculine in today's masculine reading as something he was hiding from himself. So this may be something that your person is not even as aware of as you are, but he seems to be equally intuitive. Somebody who does have good instincts, good intuition. He may be a little bit hard to reach sometimes, a little spacey, kind of like a little not like touched down to the earth, not grounded, but kind of like off in the clouds sometimes. He maybe has, this is a balanced energy, a good balance of head and heart. You know, not just somebody who's always head or always in his feelings, but somebody who is very balanced in both things. And he may be really a very trustworthy person, somebody that is easy for you to trust. He also could be very trusting of you, the feminine energy as well. Isn't this deck beautiful? This is a gorgeous deck. All right, the driving force of his intention with you. What is the driving force of your person's intention with you? We have the Hanged Man card again, which also came out for both masculine and feminine energy today. So, wow, really in alignment here with my collective. But the Hanged Man energy is, again, about gaining perspective. In fact, this card even says perspective on it. It's showing me that his driving force with you right now is to understand, is to try to like see the connection with you from all angles and truly understand why you came into each other's lives and what you're meant to learn from each other. And it's also a kind of a rebellious nature, because the Hanged Man goes off and hangs himself to be able to see things from another perspective. So there is something about this relationship for him that is kind of rebelling against maybe like the program he has about himself or about relationships in general. How does this person truly feel about you? So how does he truly feel about you? Wow. The Empress and Justice. So he really does feel that you are this Empress energy, that you are the divine feminine, that you are the one, that you are abundant and prosperous, and that you are righteous and just, and that you act fairly, that you're patient, nurturing, and kind. It's a significant feeling because these are both major arcana cards. In fact, the last 4 cards have all been major cards, so this is definitely a relationship that he thinks is very important or significant in his life. But he absolutely sees you. He sees you as someone who tells the truth. That's a really beautiful energy, and someone who is equally as balanced. The way that, you know, we kind of see his personality with that Justice card, you also are very balanced in your energy. So let's take a look at your relationship in the near future. We have the 6 of Cups here, so I'm seeing this tentative, learning to negotiate the future through that perspective that he's gained about the past. We even see this reflection of the same symbols kind of in this card. So he definitely is using the perspective he's gained about the past to make some tentative motions to reunite. I do see with this deer spirit energy that it's like tiptoeing, you know, it's not going to be a bombastic reunion so much as it's just like feeling things out. There's also innocence here and playfulness. So I see like a light energy that's feels really good to me. Definitely reuniting to talk about the past or to process the past. It could also indicate inner child healing that's still taking place prior to the reunion. But I see like some tentative steps being taken in that direction. And finally, we're going to get messages passed to you from the higher self. Wow. And I'm also going to get your animal spirit so that we can hear directly from the masculine's energy what words he would say from the higher self. Interesting. Okay, so messages. We've got the Chariot and the Queen of Cups. So the Chariot for me is again more balanced energy. High Priestess and the Empress, and the Justice card and the Chariot, masculine and feminine energy, very balanced. This is about moving forward as a team, going forward as a team. It's not being so controlling, releasing the control, surrendering to feelings and emotions, surrendering to this outpouring of love from the Queen of Cups. This is having this self-love already within you to be able to allow another person to give to you and for you to give to them. So receiving love, but moving into a place where he's capable of receiving the love you have to give and of giving the love that you are worthy of receiving. That's really positive, Abby. And then the Antelope spirit is coming out, which is interesting because we already had this deer spirit here, but the Antelope spirit is a fast moving energy, not tiptoeing, and it says life is speeding up. So it's also the number 2, which we had a lot of 2s come up. And he would say When I am rushing into your life, you are being reminded of the quickening of your personal evolution as a powerful creator. You are being told unequivocally that it's time to get moving, set your intentions, and take action toward making your dreams real. And I know this because it's time for me to do the same. There is an intensity that I can feel, and it is important to take advantage of this energy right now. If I've had a plan for my career or financial abundance, I know that now is the time to step it up. In terms of our relationship, I know that it's time for me to make that first move. I must remember that my intentions have set in motion. My intentions that I have set in motion are coming together now at warp speed. I must stay alert and keep up. Things are getting interesting when I am calling us both to move quickly. So I really see what was a very slow moving energy is starting to pick up and gather momentum, and that's clear from the Chariot energy and that Antelope spirit as well. So I hope that reading helped you, Abby. Thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate you. Abby is one of my biggest supporters. Without her, I literally would not have been able to pay for my car for the last 6 months. So I appreciate you so much, Abby. Thank you very, very much. For those of you that are interested in a personal reading, please click that link in my profile. Schedule one of my video recorded readings. Check out my Tuned In Tarot YouTube. Do all the things you can to help my channel so that I can continue to keep bringing you these messages. And thank you, Abby. I appreciate that. And don't forget, I will put this reading up on Tuned In Tarot YouTube later tonight. It should be available for you by tomorrow, so you can see the whole thing if you missed the masculine, tell me everything, which I did in the beginning, or any parts of the feminine, tell me everything. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Luna, for being the world's best moderator. I love you and I appreciate you so much. And I will see you all tomorrow. I should be here probably around 3 p.m. 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. It usually depends on what I have going on before. I have a student who kind of loosey-goosey with me on schedule, but he's actually my artist now. He started out as my student, but now he just produces music and I just help co-produce it. And so it's not quite as like, at this time, it's a little bit loose. So whatever time we end up meeting, I will come on here, but it will be 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. And I will also probably at that time be doing the thinking, saying, doing reading between masculine and feminine. It will be the Friday love reading that I typically do. So stay tuned for that and have the best night. I love you, Luna. I will talk to you all later. Take care.